Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel Santi, and this fall I was an intern with the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council. The title of my project is Soil Moisture and Climate Monitoring Network Data Dissemination, Best Practices for Sharing Climate Data for Multiple End User Groups. A little bit about myself. I am originally from Illinois, and I go to school at Colorado Mountain College. I'm in the Sustainability Studies and Outdoor Education programs. I learn best from our natural world, and I spend a lot of my time, my free time, connecting and enjoying recreation in our natural world. The staff mentors for this project were Madison Muxworthy, Soil Moisture and Water or Snow Program Manager, Tim Sullivan, the Resilient Land and Water Director, Nicole Pepper, the Geospatial Analyst and Internship Program Manager. The partners for this project were Aspen Global Change Institute, Friends of the Yampa, Upper Yampa Water Conservancy District, and then the Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes. The goal of this project was to discover ways YVSC could optimize the utility of soil moisture monitoring network through reaching multiple end user groups, such as water managers, forest managers, researchers, and other community members, and create an educational aspect to such complex science. To do this, I needed to meet with stakeholders and engage in discussions about current data platforms, who others were sharing the data with, and what's important for YVSC to know. And through that, I will create a conceptual website design. My project is based around soil moisture, and it's important that we all have some background in the essence of soil moisture and water availability. We live in a snow-dominated watershed, meaning the majority of water comes from snow. Soil moisture can help us predict water availability because when soils are dry, water infiltrates into the soil rather than running off into tributaries and streams, like the diagram on the left. And soil moisture measurements can indicate ecosystem health of specific watersheds. In other words, if nature doesn't get the water it needs, it's only a matter of time until we don't either. The Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes, Yampa Valley Sustainability Council, Colorado Mountain College, and Upper Yampa Water Conservancy District are partnering to implement a long-term soil moisture monitoring network in the Yampa River Basin. The goal of this project is to understand water availability through measuring soil moisture, precipitation, snow depth, soil temperature, air temperature, wind, fuel, moisture, and temperature, humidity, and solar radiation. With that being said, we need to make sure that we educate a diverse group of people with this data so they can know what measures are being taken to assess water availability. Meeting with various partners allowed me to better understand the science communication techniques. First, I will introduce my partner meeting with Aspen Global Change Institute. I reached out to them first because they have successfully implemented 10 soil moisture stations over the past 10 years. Here we have a screenshot of the specific station listed on AGCI's network and information they share publicly. So the site description, the soil type, and measurements at the site. When I met with them, they specifically suggested to share a lot of metadata information to help others understand the context of the data. So explaining what is high, what is low in soil moisture, what does that mean for water decisions and management, an explanation of freeze thaw. In other words, the soil probe freezes for a long period of time, so it doesn't correctly measure soil moisture, and why you can't compare different soil types. All information that we should share publicly before sharing our data. Some key takeaways from Upper Yampa Water Conservancy District. I want to point out that Upper Yampa Water Conservancy District is currently working on a data platform, and It will be user-friendly, and it will hold the soil moisture data once it's up and running for a longer period of time. The data dashboard project also shares stream flow, temperature, soil moisture, snow, precipitation, and water quality. I think that it'd be beneficial for YVSC to have an additional educational tool and resource about soil moisture, because a lot of people will not understand the context of why we're studying it. When I met with friends at the Yampa, I simply asked them for advice about reaching members of the community outside of science, given their connection to the community and their upcoming Yampa River Scorecard project. They suggested we tell a story, which I really benefited from that conversation. Create a specific web page using no technical language and explaining how to use and understand the data. And they also are going to help us get connected to the community of agriculture. Since the Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes are kind of the key stakeholder and partner in this project, I wanted to ask them how they are currently analyzing the data. So Edwin Samargo gave me to the right, the stacked up graph of reservoir inflow, soil moisture, and snow water equivalent and precipitation, kind of just showing how they tell the story on the science side of things. And here is the conceptual website design. So here is the conceptual website design, and I would just suggest that we have a little data portal to either the data dashboard project or where CW3E currently holds it. And I took this off of the current data explanation page on YVSC's website, just explaining why we're interested in soil moisture. And here we go into my suggestions, and a little bit of most of this is from AGCI's webpage. Having an interactive map showing where the stations are, if we are able to do that, and just a little bit about the network, who our key partners are. And this is what one of my main suggestions is to show exactly what we're measuring and what we're using to measure that. For example, soil moisture using the hydro probe, calculating volumetric water content at different depths and what kind of system is being taken place, and do that with all of the measurements that are being taken. And then a little bit more on that, explaining what the data can tell us. For example, soil moisture plays an important role in weather forecasts such as droughts, flooding, fire predictions, and water supply, and doing that again for every measurement. And then this is from AGCI's website again, having an interactive page of each station where you can click on Stagecoach Ski East, and it will tell you the site description and background, a soil description, different measurements, and then different metadata. And again, a button to access the specific site's data. And then this is where you would note a lot of metadata and variability, noting that you can't compare different soil types, and maybe explaining what high soil moisture in clay soil looks like, silt, loam, and sand, just so people can compare. Explaining what freeze-thaw is again, and extreme weather events such as lightning strikes and winds may alter the data. Awesome. And then some other YVSC projects I worked on were Retreat and Yampa Basin Rendezvous. It was such a pleasure working on both of those projects and attending Yampa Basin Rendezvous, just for learning and getting to see the community in action. Some personal takeaways for me in this internship were science communication and kind of the gap between people in science and the regular community. We're all kind of concerned about the environment and may not know what is going on and what actions are being taken. So I think that educational tools can uh, integrate the community members in the awesome things that people like YVSC are doing. The influence of partnerships were key in this project, and it saves a lot of time and energy. And collaboration can, I don't know, really excel the learning process for everyone. And then something that Nicole Pepper brought into the internship were how learning about the function of a nonprofit. That is awesome work. I'm so glad to be a part of this organization and kind of just learning about the financial aspects of things. And then she also had us write a newsletter and blog post, which I love writing, and sustainability is a lot of writing. So it was cool to actually share that with the public. Some people I want to acknowledge are Elise Osenga from Aspen Global Change Institute, Jenny and Lindsay from Friends of the Yampa, Edwin from the Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes, Emily from Upper Yampa Water Conservancy District, Allison from Colorado Water Trust, and then Maddie and Tim for being awesome mentors. It's a pleasure to learn from you. Nicole as an internship leader, it was a pleasure working with you as well. And Michelle for leading the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council.